Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Tatiana, aka Tati, hence the name Talk with Tati. First, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. I know it's valuable, so I really appreciate the fact that you're taking time out of your day to listen to me talk. And talking is exactly the point of my channel. I just want to create a safe space full of diversity where we can talk about things and nothing's off limits. Well, I say nothing, but almost nothing. But yeah, so with that being said, I just was talking to my friend one day. My friend's a realtor and she does all this cool stuff and she's just like the coolest person ever. And I was just like, I don't really have any cool hobbies. Like, I don't even do anything cool. And then she was just like, why don't you make a YouTube channel? I thought, wow, that's a really great idea, because I've had this YouTube channel since I was like 10. If you go back and look at my old videos, I used to make like lyric videos for songs. Don't know why, don't even know how I learned how to do that, but that's what I was doing. So I updated my name and I put a nice picture on there that wasn't of me when I was like 15. And yeah, so here we are. So just a little background about me to kind of tie into, and so you'll understand why I enjoy talking. But my bachelor's degree is in psychology. I start school here in the fall for professional counseling. When I'm done with that and I take my exams for my licensure, I will be a licensed alcohol drug counselor and a licensed professional counselor. I'm so excited about it. I've always been like the therapist friend, so I'm really ready to put my skills into an actual career and make an impact in people's lives. And I can't really practice or do anything right now because I don't have my licensing. So this is the next best thing. I can still do what I love, just get to talk to people. This is not professional. I am not a licensed counselor. This is just, venting purposes. I'm not a licensed therapist. Let me throw that out there. So I'm new to this. So of course I asked everybody around, like, if I made a channel, what would you want me to talk about? The common thing is relationships. Are you ready for your very first tea and story time with Tati? Well, kind of tea and story time with Tati. It's tea and story time, but I'm not actually drinking tea because I don't drink tea. But anyway, so relationships was the common theme. It's really inevitable for us to not have relationships, whether it's with the significant other, your parents, your family, anybody. Most of us have to have some type of relationship at some point in our life. So I think what perfect way to start this conversation than to start it with topics that are very hard for us to talk about. The majority of to talk about is our relationships with family members. Growing up, I was always told, blood's thicker than water, family before everything. And I feel like that's something we were all told. But why I don't, necessarily disagree. I don't agree either. And I'm a firm believer that your life reflects the people you're around. So if you want a positive and happy life, you'll be around positive and happy people. If you want to live a negative and unhappy life, that's who you surround yourself with. So with that being said, I think it's very important for us to have the conversation about toxic family members because, like I said, it's driven into us that your family's number one. And I don't believe that. I believe you're number one. You are number one in your life. It is so important for you to take care of yourself and take care of your mental health. And I just really I just hate that phrase, blood is thicker than water, because I have some friends that check up on me every day. If they know I'm going through something, they make it an extra effort to check in with me throughout the day. And it's like, they just go the extra mile. And I have family members that wouldn't even know I was alive if I didn't post on social media. And I just think this conversation is so important because so many of us struggle with this. And I really struggled with this too. And it's very hard for me to cut people off, especially people that I love. But you have to be able to cut people off, and you have to demand better for yourself. Boundaries. We're always hearing set boundaries, but it's not just something that's said for fun. You need to set boundaries in your life. They're there for a reason. They're there to show people like, hey, I get you're a human. I get you have bad days, but, watch it. But yeah, so, that's a little bit how I feel about the whole family aspect. I guess now I can deep dive into the relationship, specifically my relationship experience. So I was in an 8-year relationship with my ex. If you know me, you're pretty familiar with it. But a lot of people don't even really know like the deep details. Still to this day, a lot of people don't know why we broke up. They just know that we broke up. It's because for a very long time, it was hard for me to even acknowledge that we broke up, because acknowledging it made it real. And that change in my life was something that was really hard to deal with. But yeah, we were in a long-term relationship. Things were great in the beginning. As we grew older, we kind of grew apart. You know, we kind of turned into two different people. When we got together, we were still young, so it was just kind of like the honeymoon haha phase. You know, everything was fine and dandy. I think it's just so important for me to tell this, because so many of us struggle with letting go of family members and letting go of our significant others. And I feel like the significant other may be harder to let go of. I know for me, it was really hard for me to let go, because, you know, we all envision that our significant other is the person we'll spend our life with. You know, you don't want to think that one day they're not going to be yours anymore. But there becomes a certain point when a relationship starts to weigh on your life negatively, when you have to decide what's more important, you know, the grief of losing them or the grief of losing yourself. And for me, losing myself was worse, because at the end of the day, you know, that's me, is who I'm responsible for. And, you know, I have to take care of myself. And I just kind of felt like that relationship was starting to hold me back. Like, you know, I still have love for my ex. I always will. I don't have any ill will or, you know, malice toward him. But it just wasn't for me anymore. And I was struggling with depression so bad. And it was just like, I needed something more in my life, and I wasn't getting that anymore. So I had to let it go. I'm just someone who is always excited for things. I've always been super optimistic, but I had a point where our relationship was going downhill. I was dealing with depression due to my birth control. And so that, on top of, you know, my hormones, was sending me to a really bad depression. I felt like I was spiraling. Some days I would wake up and be like, I wish I didn't wake up so I did not have to feel like this anymore. And it was just getting to a point where it was getting out of control, and I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't hold myself back. And it's just so important that people understand that you have to take those leaps. I never knew where I was going to be after we broke up. You know, I didn't see my life without him. It was scary. It was like, I don't know. It's like he died, but he's still alive. You know, he's just doing his own thing. And I'm not going to lie to you and say it doesn't get easy. There isn't still times where I miss him, but it's just simply that it doesn't go beyond that, because where I am in my life and who I am as a person is something I would have never been able to be with that person. And now I'm here getting to have this conversation with you guys. So it's really awesome to be able to see like the silver lining in things, because I just, for so long, it felt like, did I make the right decision? Was letting him go the right decision? Am I ever going to find somebody like him? But the point is not to find someone like him, but to find somebody who's better for me. And I know this is a very hard conversation. I have so many of my friends who are struggling in their own relationship with their significant other, and that are struggling with their own family members and being able to put their foot down. So I'm just really glad I could have a conversation about this, because I feel like it's something that's so hard to talk about. And in the back of my mind, while recording this, I was just thinking to myself, like, there's some people out there who might watch this and they will probably take offense to some of the things that I've said. But you know what? At the end of the day, I'm allowed to express myself, as everybody is. Everybody's entitled to express themselves, and you don't have to do anything to appease anyone else. You know, live your best life, do you. I'm all for that. But yeah, I don't know if that was really any good tea. It wasn't anything like super dramatic. You know, I don't do the super dramatic stuff. These days, I pick my battles. I have some people be like, wow, I don't know how you're able to just let things go. And I'm like, I mean, when you struggle with mental illness, you have to find ways just to get by. And that's my way to get by. But anyway, yeah, with that being said, I have no idea how long I've been talking, and I know I've gotten a little off track. That's what I do, but you know, that's authentic. We're humans. We get off track. We start talking about random things, and if you've ever have ever had a conversation with me, you know I get really off subject and just, I don't know. It's just something I do. But yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. Sometimes conversations get off track, especially if I'm talking. But anyway, with that being said, I'm definitely open to suggestions. As I said, this is definitely a safe space. Nothing's really off limits, you know, controversial topics. Now, I'm respectful of people, and if things disrespect or make other people uncomfortable, I definitely do not want to have a conversation about it. To an extent, I'm not talking about like somebody's uncomfortable because they feel like I'm talking about them. Like that's a personal problem. I mean, like if something that's being discussed is triggering to someone, yeah, no, it's not. I won't do it. Anyway, yes, thank you so much for spending your valuable time with me. I appreciate you listening to my jumbled mess of a conversation. It'll get better with time, but thanks and have a happy, positive day. Oh my god, so when I was going back through and I was reviewing the video, I noticed at some point I kept looking down, and I promise I'm not going crazy. I have 2 dogs, so I'm sure they will make an appearance eventually. Okay, I introduce everybody to my dogs. So this is Shadow, and this little doggy here is Roxy. Okay, that's all. Bye.